Keeping it real, keeping it real. Keeping it real, keeping it real. Keeping it real with Reverend Laura.
So if you're not familiar with the concept of yin and yang, it's that black and white symbol that you often see associated with, oftentimes with kung fu or martial arts or things like that, sometimes with yoga. It's a Eastern Asian idea, mostly comes from China. The earliest recollections of it in writing are from the Tao Te Ching, written by Lao Tzu, which is the way, and it's 84 verses of how to bring balance into your life, how to make things equal. The way is all about the middle way. It's all about being not too much on one extreme or the other. It's also referred to in Confucianism. Confucius wrote about the yin and yang, the balance of things. It's also in the I Ching, which is the Chinese book of wisdom. But prior to that, the earliest recollections of it are from bones, animal bones that were used in divination. And they would carve the symbols of the yin yang on to the animal bones. And back then, it was used mostly to represent ideas in nature. So, earth and heaven, the sun, the moon, mountains, the water, fire, warm, cold. So it had to do more with the things, the natural elements around the world, that people were experiencing in their lives. And then from that, these authors like Lao Tzu and Confucius began to incorporate that into the work that they were doing. But it's all about bringing balance into our lives. But if you're familiar with it, it's a circular symbol that's black and white, but it's not a straight division between the black and the white. It's thicker in the black and on one side, and it curves into this narrow point, and on the other side, the white starts off big and it curves up to this narrow point. And then within each white section is a little bit of black, and within each black section is a little bit of white. So they represent balance, but not always equal. So sometimes one is more dominant than the other, but always, even when there's this dominant part of the yin or the yang, there's a little bit of a component of it that's already active in there at all times. So the yin side is often referred to as the more passive side. It's like in our bodies, we have a yin and yang in the natural flow of our bodies during the day. During the day, we are yang. We are active. We are vibrant. We are out there doing things. At nighttime, when we start to relax and rest, we become more yin, a little more passive, a little more calm, a little more receptive. And so as we're working with these ideas of the yin and the yang and how it refers to things, like I said, we talk about it in different aspects, and generally they're opposites. So like the yin is female, the yang is male. The yin is dark, the yang is light. The yin is passive, the yang is active. The yin is receptive, the yang is directive. And so they seem to be like polar opposites of each other, but in actuality, it's a continuum that moves from one end to the other, where we have this ebb and flow of it moving back and forth. And so as we talk about this idea in community, we can look at it in ways on that same kind of continuum. So in community, a community is made up of individuals. And so on one end of the spectrum, we would have total individuality. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we would have that idea of community. No, I'm never going to get it. There's too many vowels in this thing. Communitarianism. That was good, wasn't it? You can tell I taught English a long time. One end is this idea of community, and the other end is this idea of the individual needs.
Keeping it real with Reverend Laura.